Welcome to another edition of Metalheads Unite, special edition. If you have been following our socials, you know we have a special guest on with us tonight. All the way from, I'm going to probably kill the name, but Skovde, maybe? Sweden? He'll pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, I think it's Skovde.
That's what I think, but I am convinced.
But yeah, he'll tell us for sure.
Let me real quick before I bring him in. Horrible. All right.
Yeah.
Here, now we're ready. All right. So we welcome lead vocalist there from After Earth, and I'll let you pronounce your last name because I'll probably butcher that too. But his first name is Marcus, and it's Rydstedt, maybe.
Rydstedt in Swedish, but yeah, close enough.
Rydstedt. There we go. All right. Cool. Anyway, so. Thank you for joining us. Another band from Sweden there. So it's early morning for him over there. He's waking up, and we're about ready to go to bed over here. So
yeah. We do love interviewing bands from Sweden, man. We really do. We have interviewed a lot of bands from over there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Trust me, I have no problem with it. I think it's a good thing. I'm a massive fan of the Scandinavian metal bands from all over the place over there. They pump out some good music.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bands from here, so
yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah, I can see them.
And speaking of good music, Marcus is here with us from After Earth. Celebrating the release of their first album, The Rarity of Reason, that came out just last week. And having said that, we have both listened to it.
Several times.
Jason actually did the review of the album last week on the show. And once I saw that he had reached out to the group and they accepted the invitation to come on the show, I figured I better listen to it also. I have listened to it 4 times this week. So I actually listened to it 3 times in succession on Monday alone. I was able to catch it a couple of times at work, and then I listened to it on my ride home. So I got to experience it 3 times on Monday, and I listened to it again this afternoon. And needless to say, Jason and I are both on the same page as far as our approval and appreciation of the quality of the album, Marcus. So yes, we very much did enjoy The Rarity of Reason. So
thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, and been following you guys on the social media this week, and it seems like it's been a little bit of a whirlwind week for you guys. You know, you had. I saw where you guys had a release party last Friday over there. Yeah. Is that correct? It was last Friday?
Yeah, on the release day, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I think I saw something earlier. It was either earlier today or yesterday, it may have been, where I don't know who exactly, you know, like, I don't know how many of you guys, like, post stuff on your Facebook and stuff. I don't know if it's you, and I don't know if, you know, I don't know if who handles all your guys' social media, but I saw something on Facebook where you guys are just been kind of overwhelmed by like the outpouring of all the reviews and everything. Just in the first week alone, you guys have apparently gotten excellent streaming numbers, which is great to hear. So I mean, tell us about what this first week has been like for you guys.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. I am the one responsible for our social medias and everything.
Okay.
And like I wrote there, we knew the album was good. Of course, we like our own album. We think it's great. But we've had so many people reach out talking about our physical release. Over on YouTube, our streaming numbers are going up by about 1,000 streams every day on our album, and that's
Nice.
something we haven't really pushed for. Our music video and our lyric video, we tried pushing out, but the album has just organically grown from like YouTube's algorithm. There's plenty of people just writing all the time, like, I don't know why YouTube recommended this to me, but I'm glad it did. This is one of the most amazing Metalheads album of the year. And I'm like, I have no idea why you've gotten to hear it, but I'm really happy that you do.
Right.
So we had a great week this week.
Nice. That's good to hear. Yeah, I went back and looked at the post. Yeah, it's an entire week has passed, and you're gathering at Red Huset, and then let's see. Yeah, one of the best Melodeath releases these last years, album of the year. So I mean, I can only imagine what that feels like for you guys, especially on the heels of your debut album. You guys have been together. Excuse me, sorry. You guys have been a band since 2017. You had your EP come out in 2020, a couple of singles between then and now. So this album has been, I guess, 6 years in the making, 3 years in the making, I guess, since you guys did have an EP come out in 2020. So how long did this album take to take the shape that it ultimately came out?
Yeah, we started working seriously towards it in like 2021.
Mhm.
That's when we started. The first single we dropped that was from H2A was supposed to be a part of this album. We released that in 2022, but it took so long to complete it that we chose to do different songs now to keep them fresh. So some of the songs on this album is about 3 years old, and some of them were written just a couple of weeks before we hit the studio. One
Okay.
of the lyrics were written in the studio even.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's been about like 3 year process to get this out for us, and that's what's like great. One of the first singles we released was Prometheus, and that song is one of our oldest written song that we still included on this. So that is like for us 3 years old, while Undermine My Suffocation was written like a month before hitting the studio. So it's a different age span for the songs for us when they finally released.
I was actually going to ask about the what was it, From Age to Eon, the single. Yeah, that one was actually supposed to be on the album, but didn't, because it took so long, didn't make. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually one of the questions I had. Was wondering what was the deal with that, or cool.
So did you guys have any impact from the pandemic lockdowns over there? Because a lot of the bands that we've talked to who have had an album come out like in the relative same time frame, all had some sort of effect from that. Did you guys suffer any effects from that too?
Yeah, of course.
A little bit. Yeah.
Our first EP that came out in 2020, we only released that because of the lockdown. Because 2020 we started playing live gigs the end of 2019, start of 2020. We were like 4 or 5 gigs in, and then the pandemic lockdown stopped any kind of live music activity. So we
Yeah.
shifted gears towards completing an EP to have something to do as a band instead when we couldn't hit the road or something. And then we started actively working on the album since then. So yeah.
What was the country over there? Like Switzerland? Wasn't Switzerland the one that did? It's like, fuck, we just gonna let shit ride out. We ain't like
No,
nothing else.
no, it was Sweden.
Oh, was it?
It actually was Sweden. Sweden's like, yeah,
Okay.
we're not closing anything. We're not making anybody stay 6 feet apart. You guys, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, but if I remember right, your country, they just decided. I think they went with that herd immunity kind of thing. They were trying for that.
They flip-flopped a lot. Let me so most of us we were encouraged to work from home if we were able to, but there was not a state mandate forcing people to go home.
Right.
So it was mostly on the private employers, and we were encouraged to stay apart and all of those things. But they shifted a lot during the time period, trying to open everything, and then shit, fucked up. Let's go back, and then flip flop for like 3 years, and you're like, yes, decide, come on.
Well, I think the thing is like if you look at the economy, most people spend their most money at shows and movies and stuff. It's all entertainment purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people make big purchases like cars and stuff, but they're not doing that on a weekly basis. It's like you're going to spend, $50 to $100 on music and movies probably at least every other week. I know I have the pass to go see movies all the time, so I mean, but that's kind of like that thing kind of came up after the fact. So actually, that probably came up after the guys that screwed everybody out of billions of dollars in Wall Street.
That's true.
Like, hey, we got a lot of money now. We'll just give everybody $20 for a month, man. You watch what you want to. But
that's true.
Yeah, so like the thing is, like I never understood like viruses. The flu's a virus. So I mean, COVID is a virus. Yeah, we know, but it's like it's going to mutate. That's what viruses do. I mean, I don't care what you do. You can lock everybody up for a year. So the thing is like the best description I had was an anatomy teacher says that you'll get like a bacteria or something, and it'll hide in a spot where your immune system can't find it. And then as soon as your immune system lets the guard down, it's like, bam, here I am, motherfucker, I'm mutating. And it's like, so I mean, that's going to happen regardless of what we do. And yes, it doesn't. The thing is, like, it doesn't live on surfaces as long as they say and stuff. I think the tops is like maybe 30 minutes or something. They're like, oh, it's there for like 18 hours. No, it does not. It's got to have a live. It's got to have a live cell to bind to. So, but yeah, I just never understood all that. Like, I mean, yeah, I get it. In a way, but I think it hurt more than it helped for sure, locking everything down because, like I said, your entertainment's part of the economy, probably a big part of the economy. So.
Probably I would say entertainment was probably you would probably have to say the second largest part of most economies after like everybody going out and getting groceries and shit every week. So
restaurants and eating and stuff. I mean, it's like
stuff like that.
And I think it plays a lot on people's mentality too when you do stuff like that. And, the only thing that came out good for us metal fans was a lot of fucking music.
There was a lot, yeah. It really was.
We got flooded, flooded. Like we've been doing this for 3 years. I'm going on 3 years now, and it's like, after like last year it started popping like album. Like this year is the same way too. It's like October is stacked, dude. Like I've just seen like all these people. Yeah. I didn't even know were having albums already talking about. Oh yeah, In This Moment, and I've seen Cavalier Conspiracy, or Go Ahead and Die. Sorry, Go Ahead and Die. So all these guys are putting out, new albums and stuff. I'm like, damn.
Angelus Apatrides too, and that one was actually only announced. Let's see, we're in August now. I think that one was only announced in June. So we only found out like a couple of months ago that Angelus Apatrides got an album coming out on October 20th. So it's just like, and hell, the way. And the way it's looking, 2024 isn't really showing any signs of slowing down either.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a lot of bands that put out albums at the 2020, like Testament and Warbringer and all those guys that put out right at 2020 and then got shut down. They never got to tour with those. Right. And that's what Chuck Billy was talking about. He's like, well, why am I going to write new stuff? I haven't even toured on the last album yet. So writing new stuff. So
that's true. And yet at the same time, Testament is working on new music already. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's
good.
Like I said, it's been 4 years since an album. So I mean, it was time. So even though they didn't get to tour that much on it, but I think they did a pretty solid tour, I think. So
yeah, they did. Yeah. Speaking of touring, you guys have got a tour that you guys are about to embark on.
Yeah. Going together with Mara on mostly Eastern European tour.
Nice.
How many?
Right. September 6th or 8th or something like that. That's when it kicks off.
Yeah, September 6th is the first one. Yeah.
How many dates you guys got?
We got about 20 dates going
Wow.
from October 6th to October 24th is the last one. So
Nice.
just under 20 dates.
Very
So I
nice.
didn't see a lot of, especially in like usually, I guess like you and Marcelo is actually the only two that actually, I guess you guys were in a band together before, right?
Yeah. A band called Ansile. That's where we got to know each other. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I know like after the Encyclopedia Metallium usually says where everybody kind of comes from. And I was like, well, that's kind of wild that they kind of only two of them are kind of old school, I guess. But and then I guess you guys just got a new bass player, right? So
Yeah, 2022. At about the same time as Marcelo joined, we got a new bass player in Olof Öhman. And Marcelo joined. I think they played their first concert with us together, the first time for both of them in early 2022.
okay, cool.
And
So
and
was
and you and
all
you
over
guys
between
and you guys were a 5-piece for a while. Am I correct?
Yeah, 5-piece is what we're aiming for. We were 5 members at the start of this year. One of our guitarists dropped early this year.
Okay.
For other commitments, he had other bands and such.
Okay.
And Marcelo has gone on a let's call it leave of absence right now because of personal reasons. He can't really be a part of the band right now. So for the upcoming tour, we have 2 guitarists in Ludwig Andersson and Jonathan. Jesus Christ, I'm dropping the name too early. God damn it. Just let me look up what my bandmate's name is. Jonathan Alin
Okay.
is
All
his
right.
name. Yeah. So both of them will be joining us. So now when we go on tour, we will be 5-piece for the live tour.
it's better to do that here than on stage when you're like, hey, and then this, tell them your name, guy.
Yeah.
And you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Or you don't want to make the cardinal mistake, the cardinal sin of saying the wrong fucking city. So
Yeah. Yeah, need to practice the names of the Eastern European cities right now.
yeah,
Hulk Hogan Superdome incident, right?
yeah, yeah,
You're in the Silverdome, dumbass.
yeah. You don't want to mistake Gothenburg for Stockholm or something like that. So.
Yeah.
You don't want
They
to do
start
that
building
shit.
the damn Berlin Wall back or something.
So kick them out, keep them out. They're not allowed back.
This is the part I love about the interview process.
Yeah.
Get caught up in the moment and just roll with the punches.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about just having a guest on, just sitting back and shooting the shit. You just kind of it never goes in a straight line, and it's just you get there. we get there.
We would if we were to call this anything else, we would probably call it bullshitting by the campfire. But it's like
Yeah.
to come up with some professional song.
Yeah, we would. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It may work. I mean, Zach Galifianakis did the behind the fern or whatever.
Between two ferns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two ferns.
It worked. Shoot. I listened to you guys' EP too, and I noticed like a little bit of the vocal digression with this new album than the old album. Was that something that you guys were trying to kind of fine tune that a little bit more instead of just the guttural? I didn't feel like there was as much guttural in this one as the first one, so I didn't know if that was something you guys are trying to tune, kind of get a tone for. How am I trying to say this? Like a recipe, I guess, for a perfection there, I guess. So.
Yeah, me as a vocalist, I'm not much for pure gutturals or such things. I can do them, but I have always appreciated the clarity and pronunciation. I love when a growl is very deep and very resonant, but it's still very clear to hear. That's like what I'm aiming for. I love when people say, "Oh my God, you have such a deep voice, but I can still hear what you're saying. I can hear the lyrics."
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I've always tried to focus on to maintain that clarity as much as possible. So yeah.
I know when we do these album reviews, we try to give the people that listen to our show a little bit of a kind of what they're looking to get into if they listen to this band, and so we have to put out. We don't like doing this, but we put out like, hey,
comparables. Yeah, comparables.
if you like this, you'll probably like these guys. So and like two of the bands that I kind of heard when I was listening was Devil Driver and Lamb of God. So that's kind of what I've kind of put out there whenever I did the review. So I think if you like these two guys, you'll probably like these guys too. So
Yeah,
I don't know if those were any of your influences or not, but that's kind of the feel I got. So
yeah, I was like my initial impression was like Amon Amarth, a little bit of a Lamb of God groove to it. So, but I mean, what I really liked about it was that little intro at the very beginning of the album, right there, the title track, and that little intro right there before that fucking riff hits, and that riff totally caught me by surprise. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I initially because I didn't know what, because like I say, Jason did the review. He gave it a 4 out of 5 review, and I was like, all right, well then I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. And then obviously I did the homework with your appearance coming up tonight, so I had no idea what to expect. And like I said, that little intro, that little, I guess what, maybe I don't even remember how long it was, maybe minute and 10 little intro right there to the song. I was like, okay, all right, where's this gonna go? And then it went. I was like, whoa! It like grabbed me right away, and I'm just like, it's like, I am in. Let's go. Let's fucking go. And then the fucking riff kicked in, then the vocals kicked in. I was like, God, and like right away, I was like, this sounds like Johan Haig with a little bit of fucking Lamb of God groove behind it. I was like, I am all in for this. I am totally all in. It was fantastic.
definitely some good shit.
Yeah. So I mean, so Marcus, what are some of your influences?
Lamb of God is absolutely up there. Of course, we've always called ourselves a bit of a groovy melodic death metal, and that's a lot of the early Gothenburg sound. Of course, early In Flames, from like Clayman to Come Clarity, Soilwork, At the Gates, Dark Tranquility. We have a lot of different musical influences in the band. Me personally, I'm a bit of deathcore. I love. So we've always been kind of a melodic death metal, but the groove always has to be there. That's what we really love. And in that, Lamb of God has absolutely been an influence to get that groove going. So yeah.
So why can't you be a melodic groove death metal?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. Yeah, you definitely don't have to pigeonhole it. That's actually. I mean, I'm glad you describe it that way, because Jason and I have kind of like stated on the show before that we're not really death metal fans per se, but what I actually prefer the melodic aspect when it's added to the death metal. Like, obviously now that we've heard your album, you guys, Amon Amarth, maybe not their earlier stuff, but more here lately, their sound to me has evolved to add a little bit more groove and melody to it. And I've been a fan of Arch Enemy since like the 90s, and I love the way that Michael Lamott's guitar harmonies pair up with now Alyssa's vocals now, but Angela's vocals in the past. There's the melodic and the groove aspect that gets added to death metal with the mellow death or the sweet death or whatever it is. It adds, of course it's going to, but it adds a different dimension that really opens up the genre. And for I'm not going to speak for Jason, but for me, death metal, just regular death metal, kind of sometimes runs into putting itself in like its own little box. And when you add some groove and you add some melody to it, it kind of like opens that box and allows bands like you and Amon Amarth and like I was and Arch Enemy to go in all sorts of different directions. There's a diversity to the sound, because you are you're adding so many you're adding so many elements to it, and that's just what I like about melodic death metal. In
Yeah, I hope I.
over just regular death metal. I mean, there are death metal bands that I do like, but if you put the two subgenres together, just death metal and then a melodic death metal, I'm gonna gravitate more towards the melodic aspect of it. So
Yeah, I'm the same way. I often say like you can't have light without dark,
right.
and you need that duality. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really listen to more much pure death metal because the melodic aspect. I always need that change, that the back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I think it really opens the doors to do different things and fun things. Like on our song "Anguish to Dust," every time we play that live, we do the waltz, we dance, and we encourage people to do the waltz since it goes in that rhythm. So we,
Nice.
we do like we stop the mosh pits and everything, and like, let's do a dance together. Here's a song. Let's do. Do you remember the waltz? Let's go. And that's something that's
I
really
like
fun.
that.
Always appreciate it. Yeah.
Do I like that? Yeah. See, I'm, and it all. I feel like I feel like when I say that kind of thing that I feel like, because I know that there's a lot of people out there who are just death metal fans, and that's fine. Like we've said before on the show, I mean, there's no subgenre of metal that we don't like or listen to in some form or fashion at one time or another. You know, we have our own radio station that streams 24 hours a day, and we tell people if there's anything, any song by any band that you want to play, we'll play it, and we do. We try to make our radio station as diverse as possible. We don't shut anybody out. It's so for anybody who's watching now or catches this show after the fact, don't think that I'm shitting on death metal, because I'm not. Because like I say, there are bands that I listen to, but for me, I mean, literally and figuratively, for me, there's just a different aspect to the melodic death metal. There's just more to it for me. I'm not, like I say, I'm not speaking for Jason, just speaking for myself personally. So
If I want to hear how to use, stick my hand up your ass, move your mouth like a puppet. I think I've said this before too on the show. Is like my thing with death metal is I'm okay with it at some point. It's just that fucking drum, that one drum that tinks, ting, ting, ting. I hate that shit. I don't know why. I guess it's like a nails on a chalkboard thing to me or something. I don't know, but it's like if they don't have that on there, I'm fine. I can deal with it. But it's like that ting just kills me, man.
Yeah.
Like, are you drumming or are you hitting a fucking triangle? What are you doing over here? Like, goddamn. Triangle. Triangles in death metal. But,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
I'm sure.
I've heard some like recent shit, and it's like been like the guitars and shit just come out. I'm like, oh god, this is great.
Oh yeah.
And then he'll like the vocals come in. I'm like, yeah, not my favorite, but I dig it. I dig it. Okay. And then it like gets to like right there before the solo, tink tink. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Ruin it for me, man. Like, yeah, I was like hyped up and let's do it in the beginning where I can skip it. Like
Yeah.
somebody's gonna hear this and like, oh, I'm gonna make an album and put it at the fucking end for your ass.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got something that kind of annoys them with music. So I mean, I don't think we're any different. I've mentioned on the show before that there's, and like I say, I still wish I could play it because I can't play the drums, but there is one, and it's in a lot of death metal, where there's just this one drum line that just drives me crazy. I was like, it's just, I don't know. I would definitely know it if I heard it, and thankfully I did not hear it on your guys' album. So you're so you're good there. I didn't hear it on your album, if you were wondering. So you guys are fine. So, no. But I mean, I'm not. I'm not so naive to think that I'm never going to hear it. But there are some bands where it's like where it gets kind of used as a crutch, and that once I once I lock in on something and it gets so repetitive that you pick up on it, that I think that can become a problem. But I mean, you know, whether it's on the drums or whether it's on guitar, you know, whether it's, you know, sweep picking or too much whammy bar or too much wah pedal or too much vibrato from a singer or something like that. I mean, if I lock on it and, you know, if I lock onto it and it seems like it happens in every song, then it kind of gets to me a little bit. But you know, I know everyone's kind of got their own thing, and that's fine. But and Dana, a friend of the show, who is in the chat, says he definitely doesn't like funeral doom metal. I'm not exactly 100% sure. Like what bands you talking about, Dana? Funeral doom? I can't think of any off the top of my head, to be honest. To be completely honest with you, kind of putting me on the spot, but
so many damn subgenres out there. I can't keep up.
There really is.
I'm gonna create a new one because it's all metal to me. Fuck it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, so Marcus, you told us about how you and Marcelo kind of came together. Tell us how the rest of the band kind of came together, even though you guys were a 5-piece, now you're a 4-piece. Just the kind of like give us background on like the timeline of After Earth.
Yeah, it's quite fun. I used to live in the northern part of Sweden, but moved to the south part in 2015 to study and things. So when I did that move, I dropped out of bands and such from earlier. Went about 2 years, was missing music and such things. I was on an app, like a social media app called Yodel. I don't know if you've heard about that one.
No, can't say as I have.
It's like an anonymous app. You write something and you're completely anonymous, and in that little sphere of when you create a post, people commenting are also anonymous. But if I have the first comment, I'm referred to as number one continuously in that little thread. And randomly I found a post that said like, God damn it, I really want to play some good melodic death metal. Are there any people here that want to do it? And like I said, everyone's anonymous, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I want to do it. And that was the drummer Anton at that time. So we connected, switched Facebooks and things, and just got to talking. We really liked much of the same bands, like I said, Die Artist Murder, much deathcore, but also In Flames, Soilwork, and early Gothenburg sound. So we got together. I knew a guitarist from the school I was studying at down here. So we three, Anton Veckapere, me, and Victor Lundblad, our old guitarist, got together and started a band in like 2017. Got to looking at for more members. So we got hooked up with Rob Olsson, which was our guitarist at that time, and Oscar, the bass player that we had. It was that constellation that released the EP in 2020, started playing the shows, and then two of the band members, both Oscar and Rob, dropped out because they got kids, small kids. Yeah. And our band, we have always had quite a serious approach to music and doing this to see how far we can go. So they felt that they couldn't really give the band the time it needed, so they dropped off. And Victor had life changes making that he had to move, and he also couldn't really give it the time needed. I started playing in a band called Ansile from a few towns over because I found them when they were searching for a vocalist. I really liked the song they had put out then. So I got in touch, started playing with them. We started needing a guitarist in After Earth. And we played a live gig without our lead guitarist, which we played on backing tracks. And on that gig, the band members from Ansile came there, and Marcelo approached me after the gig and was like, "Why didn't you ask me? I could have filled in." And we, like a week after, we were like, "Can't we ask him if we want to join?" And we did, and he wanted to join. And then Ansile eventually fell apart, but he joined over to After Earth. And Jonathan, that we're playing with now, he was a previous he is a band member of Jacob, our previous guitarist, other band that he is still going with. So he played with us during last year when Jacob was away working abroad for about 8 months. We took him in temporarily. And now when Jacob dropped out of our band, Jonathan approached us, wanted to continue playing. And last but not least, we have Ludwig Andersson. We played a gig with them where he was in a band called Dethroned in 2020 that we played a couple of gigs with. And then when we put out hooks that we were looking for a guitarist now, he reached out to us and said, I've been following you guys ever since we played. I love the stuff you do. And now I saw that you're looking for a guitarist. Can I try to join? And that's when he joined. So now we had played one gig so far with the current lineup of live guitarists and us. So now we're looking forward to the tour together.
Very nice. Very nice.
I think Dana was saying the funeral doom metal band Bill Witch is one of the bands he was talking about. So,
one of the bands he doesn't like. That.
Yeah, if I'm reading this right, I think Bell Witch is the name of the song, and then Mirror.
is that what it is?
I think so. I think Bell Witch is the name of the song, and then the band is Mirror Reaper. He said they have a song that's 83 minutes long.
Fuck that shit.
God Almighty!
Imagine going to a concert and hearing one song.
We are Mirror Reaper. Good night.
That's like two full albums in one song. God,
it is. Hang on a second. I need to look this up. Hold on.
That's kind of crazy. I was most of the time, like, I think nowadays people's attention spans aren't that long. I mean, I think back in the 80s you could get away with some stuff, 11, 12 minutes and stuff, which Metallica did that with the original one concept. I think it was like 11 minutes in the beginning. But nowadays I think their attention spans just can't hold, man. I don't think they, because like honestly, I'll see an album and it'll say, it's an album, and then I'll look at it and it says 5 songs, 58 minutes. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then like one of them's like 16 minutes, one's like 11. I'm like, God damn, I ain't gonna get shit.
Okay,
that's a long time to keep my attention on one song. So,
yeah. All right. I just looked it up, and Mirror Reaper. I had it backwards. Mirror Reaper is actually the name of the album. Bell Witch is the band. They are a funeral doom metal band. They're actually from Seattle, Washington, and Mirror Reaper came out in 2017, and it says it's 2 discs, but I don't know. Technically, it's one song. It's called the name of the song is Mirror Reaper. Part 1 is As Above. Part 2 is So Below. Part 1 is 48 minutes and 13 seconds long, and Part 2 is 35 minutes and 30 seconds long. And that's the album. That's it. That's the whole thing.
I wonder if the music changes a lot on the record, or is that 43 minutes like very samey, or does it change? Because I feel like if it changes, why didn't you just make it into different songs?
Exactly.
Because it's really hard to talk about, like, I love the 28-minute mark in this, 28 to 32 minutes, and then I like 45. It's like, why? Unnecessary complex.
Yeah, you know what? Obviously I'm not gonna do it right now, but I think I'm gonna have to, because my curiosity is piqued now. I may have to.
Hey, it worked. Then it worked.
Yeah, I may have to at least dig into this a little bit.
Yeah.
If I can find it on Spotify, I'll give them their 7/100ths of a cent. So.
Did you see that joke that had how you have that front jean pocket, the little pocket into your pocket?
Yeah,
that's where you put your Spotify earnings in. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is on Spotify, and Spotify has the album listed as 1 song, 1 hour and 23 minutes. Oh Jesus, man.
What if they come out with another album and say this is a continuation of our last album?
Yeah, this is Mirror Reaper Part 2, and you're like, no. It's like on
but I feel like they screwed themselves over by having those long songs. Many artists nowadays do short songs because of how streams are counted.
Exactly.
Instead of having one album that's like an hour long, that's still only one stream. So
Yes, it is.
it's a lot better to have like a million 1 minute songs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dana's.
Speed notes, a
Yeah.
bunch of
Dana's.
speed notes.
Right. Yeah. Dana says it's very long, depressing, and boring to me. Well, Dana, make sure you definitely don't want to listen to it while you're driving your truck. So we don't want don't that's not a song you listen to while you're at work. Don't do that. Our friend Dana, our friend Dana is a truck driver here in the United States, so we don't want him getting bored on the highway. So
Yeah.
Put on After Earth, man, and keep yourself awake.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Damn straight. Hell yeah. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed with After Earth. If we do say so ourselves. So
Yeah, I wish we will.
and hell and the funny thing is Marcus, your guys' album is 35 minutes and 5 seconds, and that's not even as long as the second half of that album.
Yeah. It's not even half a song.
It's not even half a song. Your guys' longest song is the last one, and it's not even 6 minutes.
Yeah. Disappointed.
Yeah, you guys got to get on it. You guys,
Yeah.
What are you doing if you're not making hour-long songs? I mean,
but it's kind of funny that you mentioned that you like the intro to Rarity of Reason, that part, because Anton, our drummer, he writes almost all our music, and we call him the intro master because he has a tendency to write long and amazing intros on like every song he ever produces. But we have been forcing him to like, we need to be able to cut those intros because we didn't want an album that every song started with like a 1 to 2 minute long intro. Even though it sounds amazing on its own, if you just listen to that song with the intro, it's like an amazing journey. Like both I Am What Remains and Rarity of Reason has that kind of his way of writing it, and we chose to keep them on the intro track and the last track. But like every song he ever produces always has those intros. But we felt like it didn't work on an album to always start with a long intro and then the song comes on and then we have an outro and then the next song starts, slow build up, long intro. And it's like, yeah, you get kind of bored from it. We got one review saying that when they had listened to the last song, they were like, maybe After Earth should just do shorter albums with like 6 songs and long intros. And we're like, we had all intros on every song, but we chose to cut them for a reason, dude.
Well, hey, long intros and outros will get you closer to 83 minutes. So, I mean, that might be something it might be something to think about in the future.
It adds up.
But
I want to throw something out there real quick. I feel like an asshole right now because your Encyclopedia Metalheads page actually has your live musicians listed, and I didn't even help you. I'll just sit there and let them be like, oh, like, you got it, man. You got it.
Well,
I didn't notice it until just now. I said, motherfucker, there's a lot of musicians right there. It's like,
So in all seriousness, with knowing that about the intros was and since the title track has that intro, even though you say they kind of all had an intro of some form or fashion, did that influence the decision to as far as where to put the title track? Because I know some bands save it till the end. So I mean, was there a conscious decision of where to put the title track due to the intro that it had?
Yeah, we had many thoughts on how to form the entirety of the albums with every track going where we wanted it to go. And we felt like the Rarity of Reason was a good track, and the intro it had was excellent we were thinking about it like, if this is our debut album and the first thing people hear from us, we want that experience to be like a gradual build-up. Like you said, that the way you listen to it, you hear it, and then everything kicks off and it continues. And the entire album is shaped a bit like that. That's why we have both the tracks Legions and Human Slave Machine in the middle, because often you have something a bit slower, a bit more mellow in the middle. that's where people like start dropping off. And we were like, no, fuck that. Let's go the other way. Let's take our most hardest songs, the most hard hitting songs in the middle, like a big fat sausage is what we call it in Swedish.
Yeah,
That Yes arises in the middle, and then
Oh, yeah.
towards the end we have Undermine, Anguish, a bit more mellow, a little bit more like Anguish to Dust is what we call our metal ballad in a way. And then we end it on the track, and the name of the song was almost most important with I Am What Remains. We wanted that to be the last one. It's like an epic song, a very big build up and then release at the end. And the title is I Am What Remains, and then it's over, it's done.
That makes perfect sense. And for my money, I think Human Slave Machine is going to be one of those really underrated songs. Because I mean, I enjoyed it obviously from start to finish, but Human Slave Machine I think is going to be one of those sneaky songs, because obviously, you like you just said, you bookended the album with the title track and I Am What Remains, and those will probably be the songs that like a lot of people might remember the most, and Prometheus too, probably to a slightly lesser extent. But man, Human Slave Machine to me is going to be one of those deep cuts. Hey man, if you want to hear a deep cut by After Earth, you check out Human Slave Machine. I think that's going to be one of those. I think that's going to be one of those word of mouth songs that people are like, man, check out that song. If you like the other ones, check out that one. I really do. I really do.
I think my favorite on the album was Through Hidden Spaces, or Through Hidden Space. I think that was one of my favorites.
I mean, I don't really think you could go wrong with any of the 8 of them. But I mean, yeah,
that one just had that. That one just stood out to me more of the like he was talking about with the Lamb of God vibe. I think that was the one song that like stood out with that kind of vibe to me. And of course, I'm a big Lamb of God fan, so anything related to that, I'm going to be all for it. So, there was so there is a little bit of confusion here from so on Encyclopedia Metallum, it talks about you had a single Into the Pyre, but was that like the name of the song in the beginning and it got shortened to Pyre, or?
Yeah, that was a 2-track EP that was made from the EP we had. So that one was a vinyl edition of it. And it was the songs Into Demise and Pyre. So we named it Into the Pyre.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So there's another little double album out there that we don't.
Yeah, a little.
Like a little 45 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, little A side, B side going on.
Yeah.
I remember those days. I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, because I mean, we're both in our 40s, but I mean, you guys have, I've seen photos of all you guys together. I mean, you guys all 20s, some guys young.
Yeah. Most of us are around 30. I'm 28.
Okay.
Olof is just about 30. The newer guitarists we have are getting younger and younger, and that freaks me the fuck out. So I think Ludwig is our youngest member right now. He was born in like 03. So I think he's barely 20 years old. And I mean, I often feel like I'm quite young in the scene and everything. And then our guitarists come in and like, he's 20, I'm nearing 30. I'm like, fuck. But that's good. That means they have the youthful energy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
If he was born in 03, he's been of drinking age in Ireland for 4 years already. So.
Yeah.
God, that's true, man.
I think if you once you get out of pull ups and start partying by yourself, you can drink over there. So,
yeah, Sweden is weird. You can go in pubs and restaurants and drink when you're 18, but to buy alcohol to have at home, you need to be 20, because we have the Swedish Systembolaget that controls all the alcohol from the state. So you can drink at a pub when you're 18. That's fine. That's considered safe environment for some reason. While if I want to buy like a 6-pack and bring home and drink on a Friday, no, you gotta be 20.
That is weird.
Yeah. You get to vote when you're 18, but you can't buy alcohol.
I mean, that's the same here. It's like you voted 18, but you can't buy alcohol until you're 21 here. So
Well, you can't legally drink it till then either. But
right, but
legally drink it, you can't legally drink it. I mean,
Yeah, that's the weird part as well. You can legally drink it before you're 20 here, but you can't buy it. So it's
so
very
odd.
strange. Yeah,
we can't do either until 21 here. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, we can as long as we don't get caught.
That's what I said. That's why,
yeah.
I mean, I'll be the first. I'll be the first to tell you I was 14 in the woods with a big old liter of peat schnapps.
Well,
sounds like my background. Northern part of Sweden. It's cold. It's dark. You have nothing to do.
Well, and Jason, you know this. Obviously, I would have to let you know if I ever start drinking. So.
Oh yeah.
But see, that is so strange. That actually sounds like something they would try to pull here.
Exactly.
What you guys got going on, that actually sounds like something they would try to do here in the United States. You can come out to a bar and you can drink it because we can control it and we make all the money off of it. We can tax it and make all the money off of it. But you want to go home and enjoy it on your own. Fuck that. You can't do that because we can't control that. That sounds like something America would try to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, dude's got like a big vat in his basement going, fuck you, I make my own.
Yeah, no shit, yeah. Jesus.
Let me tell you, the motherfuckers over there know how to make beer. I'll tell you right now. I'd rather have an imported beer from Europe anywhere. So, especially a German beer. If it's a German beer, they definitely know their beer is theirs. Which is confusing to me. I think if you just did that during World War II, it'd just been over with. Everybody just been drinking beer together, and nobody would ever got bombed. So. It's like, here, drink this. I'm like, fuck. Oh yeah, this is good. There's another, all the barracks are empty and at the bar. So
yeah, they'd be like, what were we mad at?
Yeah, right.
Remember what were we mad at? I don't fucking know what we were mad at. Let's just go home. Yeah, let's go home. So
and then somebody would probably do a little Hitler thing,
and they're like, "That's what we were mad at." God damn it! That's what we were mad at. You son of a bitch! All right, so
I'm not talking to you, and he's like, "You call me a Jew?" You're impaired. So
like, no, I'm just slurring my words. What's wrong with you? He said it again. He said it again. Get him. All right, so you said that Anton like is basically the composer. So how did the album get recorded? Where were you guys able to record it? You guys, because we've had some bands on here. Ash's Rain comes to mind. When we interviewed them, we were interviewing Vinny, and he was actually in his studio. He's like, yeah, we record everything right over there. He's just right over there, just right back there. So
I think the way he put it is they semi-record it there. So when they have to pay for the actual, bill,
yeah, like
it's only like 1 day in there to get.
Yeah,
so
I think
recorded for 4 days, so they already know what they're doing. So.
Actually, that's true. I think they record it at his house, and then they've got some place where they master it, or the opposite, something like that. But how were you guys able to get the album recorded?
Yeah, our previous stuff we've always self-recorded, self-produced, mostly in-house. Our old bass player has a studio and such, so we went with that. But now for our debut album, we wanted to heighten the quality, so to speak. So we've been in touch with Robert Kukla over at Obsidian Recording Studios. He shares a space with Studio Fredman, the legendary Fredrik Nordström, that has made like all of the legendary melodic death metal from Sweden, from In Flames to to At the Gates and everything. So we went there to that legendary studio to record everything there. So we spent 2 weeks living there and recording almost the entirety of the album, bar the drums, which were recorded at Nordic Sound Lab a couple of weeks later, because we focused on the guitars and everything first. and the legacy of In Flames is quite strong in our songs because on the acoustic parts, that is the old guitar that they recorded their early stuff on. That was actually in
nice.
the studio, because the studio engineer went like, I think I'm hearing a bit of In Flames tones in this. Should we just use the guitar? And we like laughed, yeah, haha, right. And he's like, no, actually, it's in the next room. Let's just go pick it up. And it's like, God
Jesus.
damn it. So
I bet
Olaf, our bass player, got to play it, and he
Okay.
felt like he wanted those white gloves. It's like, God damn, this is a goddamn relic.
Yeah. Probably a goosebumpy moment, like, oh shit.
Yeah, really much so.
Yeah. See, that's cool shit though. You get to do little shit like that, and especially going to a studio where, you know, kind of the bands that basically, you know, formed, like you say, formed your sound. You know, the Gothenburg sound is a thing. It
Yeah.
is an actual thing. Dana, take care, buddy. Have a good night, my man. But yeah, so just, I mean, have you guys had a chance to like meet any of these guys by any chance yet?
No, none
yet.
of them yet.
Not yet.
No. We're working up to it. So.
Well, you guys are definitely off to a hell of a good start. And now it says that you guys are still an independent band. Any contact with any labels as of yet? So anybody,
No,
any approach yet?
No, no one has approached, and we have chosen not to approach anyone either so far, because we feel like independent is working quite good for us so far, and that's like all the thing we're getting when we're talking to other musicians in this genre and everything. Most of them say labels don't really offer you much if you don't get the really big deals. There's nothing you can't really produce yourself, make yourself. It's easy to make. Yes, things from the music to video content to social media to pushing out your songs to physical releases. So we're still open to labels if anyone offers us something we feel like we would want to get a piece of or jump on. But it's not something we're stressing about. So just because we haven't heard something, we don't really care as of right now.
Yeah, that a lot of that seems to be kind of, I mean, here anymore. I mean, unless you're just like a massive name, you know, like I say, a lot of the guests we've had on the show, that's kind of the prevailing opinion. It's like, you know, we're already taking care of all this stuff ourselves. Like you say, you guys more or less are recording your own albums. Like you say, you're taking care of basically your multimedia, you know, getting the band out there and everything. So, I mean, do you guys have merch that you're distributing yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you
We
guys
have T-shirts and vinyls and the CDs coming and everything. So we feel like a label wouldn't really change much without being another hand or something, a mouth to feed in a way.
Right.
So if we get a label, we need them to provide something that we don't really have, maybe a bigger outreach or something.
Yeah.
Like, sure, if Nuclear Blast or some of the bigger ones would approach us with a good deal, absolutely, we might probably take it. But right now, the smaller labels and everything, it's like, I don't really see this being more smooth than it is right now. So there's not really a point.
I feel like Napalm would be a better fit for you guys. But.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Well,
And
I mean,
think the thing is, like, with when we grew up, I think labels did a lot more for bands than they do now too. But because we actually talked to Hidden Intent, which have been on, they're from Australia. They've been on the show, but we talked to them at a show that we sent them live at first. But, you know, they opened for Andrew Stepper Trita here in Tennessee, and we talked to them, and they were talking about how poorly the guy that was promoting it did the bookings and stuff. Like, hell, I think he said like 2 days they had to get their own hotel. They didn't even book it for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But he come to find out that dude was also promoting like a Five Finger or Breaking Benjamin or some other shit. So he was more worried about that than he was their show. So which was is bullshit, in my opinion. I mean, if you're doing something like goes back to what we were talking about earlier, if you're doing something for a living, I think it should be equally as important for that band. Actually, to us, it's more important to get that band on the map than it is Breaking Benjamin or whoever it was. I can't, but it was a bigger band. I was like, no, everybody knows the fuck they are. They don't need your help. I mean,
right?
You know, these guys need your help. Promote these motherfuckers. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons we do the show is because we think bands like you guys need to be out there, more for people to listen to than the people know the Metallicas and the Megadeths and Machine Terrors, all that. I mean, everybody knows all that. I mean,
Yeah.
These guys, like I said, we talk about this on the show a lot. A lot of these bands are getting older, man. Like, we just seen where one of the guitarists for Whitesnake passed away. So I mean, that's they're in their 70s now. So I mean, it's like they can't go on forever. I mean, they have to eventually be like, okay, it's time. And we get guys like you, are there to hopefully step up and take a spot. It's like,
I mean, especially
time too that where people. And I still love buying CDs. So probably on my list to buy once you guys have CDs in. But yeah, so like I like buying CDs or albums. Chris actually bought the Hexed album for both of us last week for my birthday, so that was pretty cool.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, it's like I like having physical stuff in hand because you don't get that stuff from opening up a sleeve, you know what I'm saying, from a CD case and seeing the stuff in there. You don't get that on Spotify. You get the fucking song. I mean, you don't get any personal ability to it. It's just like, oh yeah, well here's here's Prometheus. Hope you like it. And it's like if you open up a case, you guys may have a story about the song in there, or
right?
Or lyrics, or whatever. I mean, but you're able to. And the thing I like about music so much is and I'll put a Stone Sour song out there called Through Glass. When I first heard that song, I automatically thought prison. Like this guy's in prison, and he's talking to his people through the glass, and like that was my concept of the song, and it worked. If you listen to it and you think that the whole song, you're like, well, I mean, that works, but that's not what that's why Corey Taylor wrote the song.
That is one of the great things about music. I mean, Marcus probably writes something that he was feeling at the time, and then Jason and I might feel something, but it could be something completely different than what Marcus wrote it about. That's the beauty of it, really is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because like I like hearing the musician's side of why they write stuff or what the story is, or it always amazes me because I always want to see it if I hear that when I listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I'll go back and listen to it like, oh yeah, I hear that now.
Right.
And like when Corey Taylor was talking about that song, I went back and listened to it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. It's more of a metaphorical glass, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so anything like that's always amazing to me. That's why I like to have the hard copy in hand. Excuse me.
Well, and another thing we've talked about too, and like Marcus, we talk about this all the time, but and we'll pull it up here in just a second. But another reason why we like to have the physical media in our hands is because we've said this on the show so many times. There's not a genre of music on the planet, in our opinion, that holds a candle to album art is heavy metal. I mean, you can't fuck with album art when it comes to heavy metal.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be able to have it, in that jewel case, or like that album that I got for Jason. I don't know if he's got it handy, but
I don't know.
But
I think it's put up, man.
well, I hope so. But let's see. But yeah, so to be able to, and you can experience it. You can experience it. Obviously, if you have it, you can experience it. But speaking, I'm gonna pull up the album art.
Yeah, I got it already.
Oh, I was gonna say Jason's probably already doing it. So that being said, I mean, where did you guys get the album art done?
Yeah, we reached out to an artist over on Instagram called Dark Visage. We were looking about many artists. We were aware that many people now started using AI to create artwork and such, and we felt like that was a step in a direction we didn't want to take, because we feel like working with people, you get connections, you get to know each other, you spread through word of mouth and the like. So we reached out to an artist who we liked the work of, called Dark Visage, and we had an idea of what we wanted to do with the title called The Rarity of Reason, So to us, we wanted to have kind of a dark artwork with some kind of light in it that is treasured and that's supposed to be like a metaphor for the reason, and that it's rare, but it's something you should treasure and have. So we got to send all our songs over to Dark Visage to get inspiration and flavor from it. And this is what they created. And we fell in love with it like instantly. We tried switching around the colors a bit because we felt like since we're Swedes, it's blue and yellow. We felt we didn't really want that connotation or feel like been seen like nationalists or something, or damn, we're Swedish, we don't want these colors just for the sake of it. But we tried switching around, but we just loved the way it looked, so we went like, fuck it, it's good enough as it is. This is like amazing. So yeah.
Well, I mean,
so who come up with the actual band logo?
The band logo was an earlier connection we had with another artist here locally in Skövde through our bassist. He had a friend who was an artist that created the entire font for After Earth. So that's where we got that from. So that we've had since like 2019 or something.
I think that's pretty badass because it's kind of got that kind of old English type feel to it, especially with the E and the H in there. I think it kind of got the old school Renaissance type feel to it.
Yeah, we wanted something a bit different. We didn't want to be one of those bands with the old meme throwing sticks together and that's a logo. We wanted something that was really well recognized and stood out. And we really like this the logo, and it fits so nicely on your chest with a T-shirt. The way it's formed, it looks great.
Yeah. Hey, there's a lot to be said for the physical presentation of something. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not just putting words together and just throwing them out there. So
yeah, and like you said, having a CD or something physically, it's like the entire CD is a work of art, because this is just the cover art on the front. But when you make a CD, you have the inside, you have a booklet, you have a backside, and all of that are part of the album. So Dark Visage that we worked with has designed our entire CD booklet and all. And like you said, I think it's important because the entirety is the work of art together in a way.
Yeah, it ties everything together.
Yeah,
it absolutely does. And in defense of you guys, the EP, the cover on the EP was red with white letters. So you guys weren't doing the whole Swedish thing from the start. So.
Because one of the things we do at the end of the year too is we go, of course we do the albums of the years and stuff. We count those down to our favorite 10 or whatever. But we also spend, I don't know, probably a good hour going through some of the best. We don't rate them or anything, but we just go through some of the best artwork from the year. So
yeah, just a review.
And honestly, most of those are death metal albums, and they're probably not going to be on my top 10 list, but they're going to be on there for that for sure. So because we have some pretty wild covers sometimes. So I think what was it that you liked, Gut Saw or whatever?
Yeah, it was Gut Saw. Yeah,
that shit was gory as hell.
Oh, it was wild. It was wild. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, heavy metal in general. It doesn't matter if you divvy it out into all the subgenres or whatever, but to me it doesn't matter because it could be blackened death metal, it could be brutal technical death metal. It doesn't matter to me what subgenre it is. No other genre of music can hold a candle to artwork. Then I don't think any other genre comes close. Because it's like, Marcus, what you said, it ties in the visual ties into what you hear. It all ties in together, and I'm not going to start harping on other genres of music, but I don't feel it's the same way in other genres of music. I think sometimes the cover art if it's even art. I mean, obviously art is
Like a
art.
picture taken. You know, there's like an Olin Mills picture most of the time. Like,
Right.
this is-
Yeah. So I mean, but
you get shit in the studio and throw it on the album cover.
yeah, a lot of times I think it's an afterthought, but
Taylor Swift on a hayride or some shit.
yeah, some dumb shit like that. But and because I mean, say what you want, even the horrific drawing on the cover of Pantera's very first album, way back in 1983. I mean, we've probably all seen it. It's terrible. It's fucking awful.
Okay.
But at the same time, I say it's awful. I couldn't even draw it if you paid me to, because I can't draw with the shit. So, but even you're talking, of course, you're talking 40 years ago. That album came out in 1983. That album came out 40 years ago. So, but even as bad as that was, it probably wasn't bad at the time. And but even that told a story for that album. So.
That wasn't that Matt from As We Suffer was talking about Blackie Lawless and Wasp about the album covers? I think it was him.
I think so.
He was talking about Wasp had great album covers, and still Blackie Lawless started trying to be on the cover of all of them. And I never thought about it until he said that. I'm like, huh, he was on a lot of the motherfuckers, wasn't he? Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
Well, hey, self-confidence was never Blackie Lawless's problem.
Well,
It was never his problem. He did not lack for self-confidence.
I mean, if you think about Johannes from Avatar is getting, I mean, he's not that kind of person, but he's on the album cover. Like, I don't know if that's just the thing that the record label was like, hey, just put his face on there doing something stupid.
Yeah, every time now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, every band needs a face, but I mean, if they're right now, if any band is a face, I would say Johannes is a face for Avatar. He absolutely definitely is right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because he's, like I said, we've talked about this before. He's just one of those vocalists that I think I don't think there's nothing the guy can't sing. I mean, he
Not
can
really.
do gutturals, he can do screams, he can do cleans. I mean, I've heard him do everything. And like the thing that amazed me about him is like when I first saw them live, I didn't know that he did all that on his own until I saw him live. And I'm like, wait a minute, this fucking guy does all that himself. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
And I think another guy is the singer for Brand of Sacrifice that does that shit. I seen them live, and I'm like, man, this fucking dude's going from guttural to fucking scream like it ain't nothing. I'm like, holy shit, there's some amazing vocalists out there that do some crazy shit. Like we go back to where I was talking about the teen thing. I can't play drums, so that's whoever plays that drum thing can just say that. So, well, fuck, you can't play it. Shut the fuck up.
That's true. That is true.
That's my opinion. This is like opinions are like assholes. So,
Yep.
I mean, hell, most. I think if you like death metal, I think you probably almost expect that in a way. It's like, it's like, well, if it wasn't there, then you're trying to show.
See, I mean, there's Avatar's album cover right there. Yeah, so I mean, there you go. That's all. I mean, it's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah. It's like it almost looks like one of those yearbook pictures where you weren't ready.
A little
caught off guard,
yeah, a little bit.
Or the evil guy just, or the evil guy just like you won't be a smart ass during picture day.
Yep, sure does.
It's like crazy.
Yeah,
I love that. I ain't gonna knock it. Like I said,
oh no, that's the thing.
Like you go back to that Pantera cover, nobody's remembering Cowboys from Hell from the fucking cover. So it's like, somebody says, "What's your first impression of Cowboys from Hell?" If somebody says cover, I'd probably smack them. Oh, the cover, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Riff from Cowboys from Hell is the first thing you think about. Fucking idiot.
And I mean, and we talked about the open to the rarity of reason. You talk about an opening to an album. Good God Almighty.
Like when I was going through listen to because I go through and listen to a few songs of each album before I kind of like pinpoint on what I want to listen to, and like sometimes I'll get caught up and be like and just wind up listening to the whole thing, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm reviewing this one because I done fucking listened to it all. Like shit, I got lost track of time. It's just like So and that was kind of like one of the things with this band. Like you said, I was listening to that first track, and I'm just like, all right, here we go.
Oh,
like,
it grabbed me right away, man. It did. It absolutely grabbed me right away.
it's like may have something here. So it was like, by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, oh well, I guess we're going with afterwards. Man, like to me, I think the last 2 weeks have been like amazing for releases, man. It's like I can't. It's hard to pick just one to try to do. Like I want to like review 4 or 5 albums if I just had the time to do it, But unfortunately, we're doing this on our own dime, so it's kind of like we're not doing this for a living. If we were doing this for a living, I'd be listening to shit and reviewing it all damn day long. But
oh yeah, I would. Yeah, if this was our job, I would probably have 3 or 4 album reviews a day. But because there's that much stuff that comes out. So
I create a playlist from the newer stuff coming out every Friday for the show for people in their groups, and I usually try to limit it to 30 songs. That's usually around 2 hours because I figure if somebody's got an hour commute, that's an hour there, hour back. So I usually don't try to go over that. But like this week, man, it's like so much good shit came out. I was like, I went like 40, I think, or something. It's like I couldn't like not put stuff like, man, this is so fucking good. I got to put it on there, like. So it's like crazy of how much good quality stuff's coming out in the middle of the year. Like, well, actually over the middle of the year at this point. Like we're in about the last quarter of it. So it's pretty wild.
Almost.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild to still have that quality of music coming out.
Yep, almost.
And like we both keep files or whatever because I mean at this point with all this stuff coming out, I'd probably forget the shit that came out in January if I hadn't had it wrote down. I'm just like, because it overrides. It kind of like it's so empowering, I guess, because of it, all of it's like so. Like I said, like all of it's so good. Like back then, you just had like a couple of albums. You're like, okay, I can do this one or this one, or But now it's just getting to the point where damn, I just want to do like 5 or 6. And, a lot of big bands are coming out with stuff too, which is pretty wild too.
That does make it more difficult for us because our focus on this show is predominantly the up and coming bands and stuff like that. So when you've got somebody like Megadeth or Testament or somebody like Metallica or somebody who puts out a new album, it's like, well, shit, I need to listen to that, but then I also have to get the album review for our quote unquote new band. And I say quote unquote because sometimes we do end up listening to a band like you guys who is putting out your debut album. Other times we discover quote unquote again, we discover a band that we've never heard of that's been around since the 80s. So that has happened to us a few times where it's like, hey, have you heard this band? No, neither have I. They're on their 20th album. What the hell? It's like, what the hell? Really? It's yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somebody knew about them, or they wouldn't have been able to do 20 albums.
Right. So one thing that I want to tell you that I liked about the album, Marcus, is I said earlier in the show that on Monday I got to listen to it 3 times. What I liked about it, the fact that I was able to listen to it 3 times, I did like that fact. What I did like about it is I enjoyed it so much and I got caught up in it that I didn't realize that I was already to the end, because I was so wrapped up in it. I was like, holy shit, I'm on track 8 already. So once I realized I was on track 8, I was like, I'm starting this damn thing over, because I was like, I'm starting over, because like I still on Monday when I was listening to it, I was doing paperwork and it was towards the end of the day, and I was down to maybe the last hour and a half of my shift, and I was doing paperwork, running reports and shit like that. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be at my desk. I'm going to pop this in and I'm going to play it. So I started playing it. And like I say, it grabbed me from as soon as that first intro went into that first guitar riff, I was hooked. And then before I knew it, I was on the 8th track and I was like, shit, I'm definitely starting this damn thing over. So I started it over. I listened to it twice before I left work, and I got in the truck to go home. I was like, let's go for 3. So man, I was in from the go, and that's what I like about it, because that's what I liked about it. It had me the whole time, even though the entire album was only 35 minutes and a few seconds. I was captivated the whole time. There's been a few times, and I won't call anybody out, but there's been a few times where I've been driving home and I'll be listening to an album with the intent of listening to it to do a review, and I'm like, what track am I on? I totally just, it wasn't holding my attention. And the next thing I know, I'm like on track 6. I'm like, did I miss 3 songs and I didn't even realize it? It's like, so, unfortunately, the opposite has happened. So that was one of the things I loved about it, is that it grabbed me right away and it didn't let go. So that's,
Yeah, like a guitar hook, it just like hooks. That's what I
oh,
call
it
a hook.
did.
Hooks you, and
Yeah.
you're like, and then it just. I mean, it's kind of like we were talking about Cowboys from Hell. It comes out in
Mhm.
like, as soon as you hear that, you're fucking hooked, man. Like
Yep.
you got to listen to the rest of it. So I think that's a good thing to have in a title track song. And like I listened to an album this week in one of the they call it a prelude, but it was like a 2 minute 56-second prelude, which was interesting. But to me, like if you've got that much time into it, it's it's definitely considered a track in my opinion. But I always get killed with the, and I'm not sure why they do it. I don't know if it's just because they want the numbers to be 9 and 10 or something. I don't know, but it's like they'll do a 30-second or 20-second intro or something. Like, why can't you just like put that into the first track, like just feed it in or something? I was like, but I don't know how the recording side works. So I just kind of like, that's just always been one of the things I've always wondered. But
Well, actually, that actually is a good question, Marcus, because you were talking about how every song, more or less, Anton had an intro. So, I mean, what was there any thought of having, once you decided that the Rarity of Reason was going to be at the very front, was there any thought to, having the intro be listed as separate? Because I mean, it's a little detail, but I mean, was there any thought to that, or was it just, all right, it's part of the song, it's just, it is what it is?
For this one, we felt that it was so integral to the part of Rarity of Reason and the build-up, so we chose to have it included. But it's funny that you mentioned this, because on our first EP, we do have an interlude or a prelude to the song Pyre that we chose to make separate, because it's an acoustic building up, acoustic guitar part that builds into the song. But I think it's like a minute 30 or something. It's quite long. And what we realized when we ourselves were listening to the song was sometimes you just wanted to get right into the smack dab of the actual song. The Pyre, that track is quite hard hitting almost instantly with and just kicks off. And we realized that sometimes we want to listen to just that part. Probably people listening at home or on Spotify, if the interlude comes on first and they need to skip on a timeline like 30 seconds or 1 minute or something, people are just going to skip the song, say fuck this song, next song. And if we're in a list, we might get skipped entirely. While if we just want the Pyre, the hard hitting song, if that one is separate, it can be separate and it can be its own thing. But for the people that want to listen to the entire album or the entire EP, then it's there as a prelude and you hear it. So we wanted to give the listener a choice with that one, but for Rarity of Reason, we wanted to force it upon you because of the way we designed the album. We felt like this is such a big part of the song that this needs to be here before that kicks off to get it to kick in a different way.
That's just like, that's just like, we talked about like one of the bigger bands that we did last year was Machine Head, and like they did like 3 little like intros to in like 3 different spots of the album, which the one of them was kind of like, okay, that's cool because it led into like the next track. The Overdose, I think, was one of the ones that I remember. They had like a little patient crash cart scene in there, and then they went into like Overdose. When I was like, oh, well, that works. Like I said, I don't mind stuff like that. I just like, you'll hear something and like you'll just be like, then it's like, I'm just like, okay, well, that does not even like feed into the song at all. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, like I said, I don't mind the longer ones because we grew up listening to instrumentals like George Lynch's "Mr. Scary" on a Docket album was one of my favorites. But yeah, those guitars and stuff is always cool to hear. And like a lot of times people like a lot of bands even put out stuff with with no vocals. They'll say, "Oh, this is a remake and no vocals." So I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So it's like I always wonder, like, "Oh, I wonder what it sounds like without vocals now," because you said that. So it's like I have to listen to it.
But that
there's a
that
place. I mean, there really is. So.
yeah, but that's actually I actually never thought about that, putting it the way you put it, Marcus, to some like you say, some aspects to give the listener a choice. I actually never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it has to do with playlisting as well. Let's see if we want to pitch our Pyre song that is a really hard track to like I don't know, a black metal hardcore playlist or something.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a like 1 minute interlude that you can't skip, we might get the response, I like the song when it gets going. Unfortunately, this 1 minute will break the flow of my workout playlist or whatever kind of playlist. And I can't really include it because if someone is in the gym, if they're creating a metal gym playlist, maybe they don't want a slow acoustic build up for a minute 30 when you're doing bench press. And I understand that. So we wanted to give them the choice in that one.
Well, in my case, I was listening to it eating gummy bears, and I went through a 3-pound bag while I was listening to it. So. Eat your
you ever see that 9-panel meme of that guy brushing his teeth to heavy metal?
Yeah. Kind of
Starts off, his face is clean. You get down to track 9, he's covered from head. He's like, he's like, face is covered in toothpaste and shit.
I'll tell you what was so wild. So what's so wild about listening to that album on Spotify was like there's a band that comes on right after it every time I've listened to it called Tortured Demon, and I don't realize it's not you guys. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool too. And then I look over and I was like, well, they ain't fucking them. Like, what the hell? So kudos to Tortured Demon for sounding like After Earth.
Yeah, there you go.
Next time it'd be a bonus track. Tortured Demons, whatever it was.
Feature.
Yeah, that's right.
On an After Earth album.
Yeah.
But it is crazy how they do that. Like they'll pick something similar to what you're listening to and then throw it in the mix. And you're just like, oh, I didn't realize I wasn't listening to it anymore. I was like,
yeah, that is weird. That algorithm sometimes is scary accurate. It's weird.
Yeah. It ain't like it goes from that to Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody or nothing. So
right, yeah. No, they got it down pretty. They got it down pretty good. Like I say, it's sometimes it's a little scary.
Well, I mean, I think if I did that, I'd be pissed off because I'm just like, I don't listen to goddamn Queen. Shut up, my damn.
I mean, yeah.
Someone just found us from Death Clock's new album. Apparently, they wrote to us on Instagram saying, "I was listening to Death Clock Death album for what it's called, and then I randomly found you guys." And I'm like, damn, didn't really see that connection, but hey, perfect.
Hell yeah! I mean, hell, Death Clock's got a big following, so it's good for you guys. So I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
And I actually listened to Death Album 4 a couple days ago because it was supposed to come out. Well, you're on Saturday, Marcus. It was supposed to come out today, here in the United States. Well, I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and on Facebook they're like, Death Album 4 out now. I was like, 2 days early? Yes, please. So I went ahead and listened to Death Album 4.
I seen where they had the one from
the soundtrack for the movie.
Yeah, I seen the soundtrack for the movie.
Yeah, Death Album 4 came out. It was supposed to come out on the 25th. It came out 2 days ago. So I had already listened to it.
Okay.
So yeah, the Doomstar Requiem. So
yeah, I listened to that, but I didn't even realize it was. Okay, well, shit, they just got a shit ton of new music out this week. Then.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
We're gonna hit every angle, man. We're gonna like give you 30 fucking new songs. Here you go.
That's fine by me. It's fine by me.
I mean, a lot of those are little from the movie side anyway. We're little like intros.
Yeah, little vignettes or something like that. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, from Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. He does cocaine, in case you didn't know that.
It's a hell of a drug, man.
He does cocaine. I'm actually looking forward to that movie. I'm gonna watch the hell out of that movie. But
so did you guys ever get to tour when you were in the other band or at all, or just you just pretty much just
No, no touring opportunities as of yet. Like I said, I moved down here in 2015. I think I joined Ansile in 2021 or something. And previous bands have not had the opportunity. Sweden is fucking oblong, a very oblong country. I came from a place called Östersund in this dab center of Sweden, and that's like a 4 to 5, 6 hour drive to get to Stockholm, Gothenburg, and everything. And just to reach the edge of the country to reach Europe is like a 9-10 hour trip. So it's a really shitty part of the world to live for bands, which is hilarious because there's so many great bands from the northern parts of Sweden, but it's such a journey to get to like anywhere at all.
Yeah, I think you guys are our second band from Sweden this year. Last year we did a few, I think like 3 or 4, but yeah, we've done 2 Finland bands, and you're the second Swedish band. So.
Yeah, we do, man.
We stay over in that part of the area for some reason.
We do, man. We're
so I will give them props. Those the bands from over there are quick to be like, "Fuck yeah, we'll be on your podcast." These motherfuckers in America, I'll be like, "Nah, man, I got better shit to do."
You know what? That's actually a very good point. That's a very good point. The bands,
but I'm right here. I'm in the same time zone.
Yeah, we're in the same time. Yeah, we're in the same time zone. Yeah.
Nah, man, I got better shit.
I never actually really thought about that until just now. All of the bands that we've talked to from not America.
So I don't think I personally reached out to a band from over there that said no. Honestly,
I don't think
everybody
so.
that reached out to over there said yes, we'll come on your show.
I think we're very humble in this part of the world. Like if anyone reaches out, we're like, oh my god, yes, please. Oh, do you like us? Oh my, thank you.
Except for Rick from Rick Jimenez from Extinction AD, he was just like he said his contact on Con's like, hey, we got this, and this. What do you want to do? He's like, yeah. And they're like, no,
he wants to do it all. He wants to do it all.
Look at all of them. I'm promoting my band here. I'm doing them all.
He wants to do them all. That's true. Yeah.
Which he's got a point. I mean, you're promoting
the band,
and then they just did a tour over there, over in Europe. So I mean, pretty cool to see them get over there. So
yeah, damn it, I actually just saw something from Rick. I just saw something from them. I can't remember where they said they were at.
And what's so cool is like I do reach out to you guys, like, you know, so if you get a message 3 or 4 months down the road, I usually check on everybody like, hey man, how's it going? You know, how's the tour going? Or, you know, I just like to be that personable with people that took their time out to be on the show, because it means the world to us that people take their time out to come on there. Because I know, like you said, you had a tour, and you was like, hey, you want to do it Friday? We have a tour coming up. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, we do it Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy about that is I almost missed the email, because I guess Chris had seen it, so I didn't. And so like the next day I had seen it, I said, oh shit, they contacted me back. So I was like, yes. Then I was like, so the thing is, like, most of the time, like, I never know how to like contact people, so I just like, I'll just do it on email, because, you know, most of the bands are usually either they'll respond or they won't. And then like most of the time, if I do it on Facebook, they're like, oh man, you gotta just email us. So I'm just like, well, I might as well just fucking email everybody. Just email everybody. Like,
it's an official way that feels good.
Yeah, well, it kind of does go faster though if you're just on like the messenger, and if you don't have a contact. I know some bands have a contact they have to go through for PR, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, that's understandable. But most of the bands we talk to usually don't have a PR person. So but I did talk to the one band from shit, I don't know where they were from. They were from over there somewhere, but he said, yeah, we don't speak very good English, so we'd like to have a context of what you guys talk about. I'm like, we don't have a context, dude. We just fucking talk. So,
we just
I don't have no fucking platform on how to talk to people. I just talk to people, man. Like, it's like so kind of shampoo you use. I don't know. It's like, oh man, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about your band and your tours and your albums, and then, you know, whatever comes up in between, we'll just go with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to give you a stencil for all that.
That's the thing is, I mean, even when we do our normal show when we don't have a guest on, we have a format. Do we stick to
Right.
it? Not really. I mean, we go in the same order from segment to segment, but do we really stay on track? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Oh,
more
no,
like an outline.
yeah,
Yeah, it
because
is more like an outline.
something that happened in there, and then we get caught up, talking about it in depth, and then like say, and most of the time, like I know, like a lot of times we'll do it, and then I'm like, whose turn was it? The real story? Like we don't even remember who's doing the story. He'll do stories, and I'll do stories, and keep people us talking.
Yeah, we go back and forth.
Yeah, but it's like, who was doing the story? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll spend an hour bitching about why Molly Crew kicked Mick Mars out of the band. So,
Yeah. Or why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sucks, or the Grammys suck, or something like that. Yeah.
all that stuff.
All that stuff. So, do you have Marcus? You got a way to a way to post the tour dates? Because I'd like to share those.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I could go like this.
Because I would like to get those posted.
Yeah, let's see. I should be able to get this list over here. Can I send it in this chat? Does it work?
Yeah, you can put it in the chat. Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Sure as hell, try it out.
I think it wanted to cut the message off, so let's do it like this.
That's too much info.
Start with those, and then it was this one.
Oh, see, there we go.
In that, I think I've included the links to the Facebook events. I think that.
See, there we go.
Everything. The format is a bit funny, but
no, that's okay. That's all right. That gets the point across.
Yep.
Man, you guys are going in everywhere. Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, Czechia, Poland,
Nice.
Lithuania, Estonia. Very nice.
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude.
You want to copy and paste that stuff, Chris?
Yeah, let me see if. Hold on a second. I got it like this little snipping tool here. I want to see if this works. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works.
We can throw it over on the. I mean, are these posted on your page as well?
Yeah, I think so. I can see if I could send you a nice little picture as well.
Yeah, if they're on your socials, I can always share them from there. So.
Let's go like this and that one.
Or you can send it
to this
in the chat that we talked to earlier too. So.
I sent you a picture over on Facebook as well with the tour dates.
Cool.
Yeah. See, that'll work, and we'll put it up on our Facebook and everything too. So yeah. Well, we've already started. I mean, we're following you on Facebook now. We've started following you on Instagram and all that stuff. So, like Jason said, we basically keep track of everybody the best we can who comes on the show, and anything that comes across, we put it out there, because during the regular show on Fridays, we've got our Hitting the Road segment. So we talk about tours that are coming out. If you guys, got a music video that comes out, we put it on there. So, hell,
sometimes we get the exclusive to put the video on here. So.
Sometimes. Whenever we find out your birthday is, Marcus, we're going to tell everybody when your birthday is. I mean,
September 2nd, very soon.
Oh shit! All right, I'm writing that down.
Just the days before we go on tour.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. Nice. I like that. I do. I like that.
Nothing like celebrating a birthday to go on a tour.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Let's make it a 2-week long thing. So.
Yeah.
Birthday month at that point.
Yeah.
Did Marcus? Did you see that Killswitch Engage? Their bus hit an elk over there.
No, what? I missed that.
I think I was too. I was like, what the hell?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. I saw that. I actually saw it just a few hours ago. Actually, I saw it earlier and I posted to the Facebook group. Yeah, they were. Hang on, I actually have the story pulled up. They were going to the Dalhalla Brunner Festival in Rotvik and
the In Flames Festival.
Yep, the In Flames Festival. So they were going there, And hold on a second. I'll just pull this off to the side here. And yeah, no one got hurt except for the bus driver, but I mean, he isn't he's nothing life threatening. Nothing life threatening or anything like that, which is good. But yeah, they're ooh, hang on, what happened there? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yep, there it is.
Damn. Where were they?
I'm not 100% sure where. It just says that they were on their way to Rotvik, and so I'm not exactly sure where they were at.
They go by my my hometown and my home county, you could say, and that's the Swedish. We have like ish states, I guess, and Jämtland is where I'm from, and the elk is our like national state animal. So
Yeah.
maybe they were hitting an elk in where I live.
So
Maybe.
are they like hitting deer over here in the States? Because like they'll jump out in the middle of the road for no reason. Just, deer get hit. Deer get hit a lot over here. So
yeah, they do. Well, hell, deer are a lot smaller than elk. That's for damn sure.
well, yeah, moose and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, our moose are like king of the forest. They don't move for nothing. They just walk out in the middle of the road, look at your car, flip you off, and keep going.
it's like get some.
Yeah.
I'll put a hoof on your hood and scoot you.
Yeah.
Back.
or put a fucking rack of antlers through your radiator. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
These things are huge, man. They're huge.
It's not very Bullwinkle of you, damn.
No. Well, the funny thing is, what I was worried about when I first heard about it, because I mean, you saw the size of that windshield on the front of that thing. I was when I first heard about it before I saw the story, I was worried that the damn thing went like into the cab of the bus, but no, it didn't. I mean, it didn't. Which is good that it didn't happen. But yeah, so yeah, Kill Switch. Yeah, they ended up having to like switch buses, and they kept on heading towards the festival. So they're not going to miss the performance or anything. So
Yeah,
I can hear Adam in the middle. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Probably.
God damn it! That dude's a fucking trip, man. I've seen him live a lot of times. He's a fucking mess.
Yeah,
I think that the best memory I have of them was they were at a festival and they had like this VIP section, which was way over here in this corner or whatever. And Jesse was like, "Oh yeah, say hi to the VIP section." And he's like, "Where? Where's the fuck they at?" And he was like, "Way over there." He's like, "The fuck they go way over there?" I heard the kid, you fucking pussies. I was like, "Oh my god, he's fucking tripping." It's hilarious. Get in the pit, you fucking pussy. What up there for?
yeah.
Oh man. So was so is there any so have you guys toured at all with After Earth, or is this your first tour?
No, the closest we've gotten is a 2-day tour, we called it. We had a show in Stockholm, the capital, and then in a place called Lidköping the day after. But that's the closest we've gotten to a tour. So that was 2 days in a row. So this will be our first tour, both abroad and in Sweden. We haven't toured here either. So
yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, that's good. I mean, that's a lot of dates for your first tour. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? 14?
I think that sounds correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how many you had sent over in the chat here. So
Yeah, I think it's right.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Hell
I mean,
yeah,
like I
dude.
said, most people just starting out didn't get to do that many dates. I mean, I know some bands that we've talked to that still they've been around for a while and still haven't toured together yet. So
yeah, there's been a couple bands we've talked to that they've put out an album but still have not played live together yet, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, really? It's like, all right.
Yeah.
That has changed since then, but like since the particular interview. But so thankfully, the band I'm thinking of, who is also from Sweden, by the way, they've actually have finally been able to get together and tour. But like when we talked to them, we were talking to them on their new album there, and it was actually the lead singer and the guitarist. They're like, yeah, we've never even played live together. So they put this album together during the pandemic, and they put this album together during the pandemic, and like, yeah, we haven't even played live in the same room yet. So I was like,
hope for good chemistry. I feel like let's say that's a gamble.
yeah. Thankfully they have been able to get out since then, which is good.
Which band was that again?
The Defaced.
Yeah, the Defaced.
Yep.
So I was looking at the because I started writing the names and the bands down this year. Last year I only had the countries because I was making that. Because what I've been doing is like you see the shirt.
Yep. Hang on.
You had it, yeah. So it's actually got we made like a concert shirt. So that's the interviews that we did that year. So which has got one left off of it, but the shirts that people can buy actually have it all on there.
Yep. The Helsingborg date up there in March was Defaced, and then down there in November when we talked to the band from Uppsala, that was Hexed. So yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just kind of an idea I had. I was like, well, hell, man, if we're interviewing people, this is like a tour shirt.
Yeah,
we didn't really go on tour, but
the world came to us, so
so to speak. Yeah, so through internet. So
you guys are going to be on our 2023 World Tour shirt. So
So I'm guessing like there's not really. So I guess there's not really any much of a stories you can have as far as touring then. So
no, not yet.
We always try to get some kind of. But I think that story that you told earlier with the recording was a pretty good story.
Yeah, that was a good story. Yeah,
that's a pretty awesome story. I mean, not many bands can say they did that. So if you ever tour with those guys, you can kind of bring that up. Like, hey, that's how to break the ice. Hey man, we played your acoustic guitar when we recorded this album.
Feel like it's a weirdly creepy thing to say. Hey, you know your old guitar? We've also played it.
That's the only fingers that's been on it.
Exactly.
Actually, Anders would probably like that better than the other way.
He probably would. He seems like he would get a kick out of that shit.
I seen an article where he was giving one of them shit the other day. It was like it's funny as hell. They were in like some interview and started giving him shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Was it that interview? Was it that interview where he said he found his bassist on Tinder?
Yeah. We found him on Tinder.
Shit, there's probably worse ways to find a bandmate than on Tinder. There's probably worse. There's definitely shadier ways because I don't, Marcus, you probably don't know what this is, but we got something over here that's called Craigslist. So I don't know if you've heard of Craigslist? Oh
yeah, of course.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd heard of it or not, but yeah. So I think I'd rather find a band member on Tinder than on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Well, your band member on Craigslist would be Catfish or something. So
yeah, it would. Yeah.
Going up, nobody be there, and then two guys jump out of the alley and beat you for your money or something.
Yeah, and then you wake up in a bathtub and you got one kidney. Why am I in ice? Oh shit! I'm missing a kidney.
Or you wake up in a ditch and your butt crack's full of KY or something.
Also true. Also true. And that's a road story you don't want to tell anybody.
I always said that I seen a thing the other day was talking about, well, why don't people just match Google started a dating site where they just match everybody up with their browsing history? That'd be the greatest thing ever. Be like, hell, man. So like, I don't know if that many women watch porn, but
I mean, maybe not the midget porn you watch, but or the little person porn. I don't want to be. I don't know.
They're leprechauns, man.
We gotta say, Some of them were dressed up as leprechauns. I guess that's true.
Actually, speaking of those people, we're actually going to see the comedian this week tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Brad Williams. I don't know if you know who that comedian is, but we're actually got tickets to see him tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, that's true.
He's actually is a little guy.
He actually is a little person. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Is there so before we wrap up, is there places that people can go to see your merch and stuff? You got like a band camp or anything like that?
Yeah, we got a band camp mainly over there. You can also reach out to us directly on Facebook or email or Instagram, but Bandcamp is the central hub for our selling of the merch.
Oh, okay.
Bandcamp's a good website. It really is.
Bandcamp is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, hey, Bandcamp, there's a ringing endorsement right there.
Yeah, Bandcamp is great. Like I said before, with the small penny you get from Spotify, that's like amazing. The emails you get from Bandcamp when someone has purchased your album or things are named Kaching. So you get you get a notification on the phone. You look down, it's Kaching. Someone's bought your album or whatever, and it's like, yes, the best part of the day.
Hell yeah, man.
But cool sale. So, yeah, we don't want to keep you too much longer, as I know it's getting late over here, and I know you. I know it's early there. You probably.
It's soon to be early.
Yes. Yeah.
He said, "I got up and put a shirt on. I ain't been wearing pants this whole time, but."
Yeah. Who the hell needs pants? It's Saturday morning. I don't need pants. Who the hell needs pants?
Back to school where you just got up in your underwear and watch cartoons and eat a bowl of cereal, right?
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm about 8 hours away from that myself.
I'm waiting for everybody to move out so I can do that shit around here. Like,
that's true. Yeah, you do still have a full house over there. That's true.
Well, man, we appreciate it, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
Especially being this early in the morning over there. So we appreciate you joining us for coffee, I guess. Are you? You was drinking water, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, coffee drinker, black coffee. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for reaching out, and thank you for letting us come on. It's been great.
Yeah. Anytime, man. We'll like I say, we'll get the tour dates posted to the Facebook page, and we'll let everybody know those are going on. And obviously, we're definitely gonna keep tabs on you guys, and hopefully, we get to talk again sooner than later. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, at some point, you guys can kind of wiggle your way over this way.
Yeah, that'd be cool as shit.
That's a dream.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
we'll be able to get to a show. Like I was saying, one of the things we pride ourselves in doing too is if there's a tour and we've talked to these people and they're here, we usually go to the shows.
So, you guys get over this way. Make sure if you guys can do your best to make sure Nashville is on the itinerary. We will be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. All right, everybody, check out After Earth and the Rarity of Reason on Spotify. Go buy it on Bandcamp. Check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Facebook.
Buy T-shirts. Buy whatever. That's how they make their money. So
buy stuff.
Spotify downloads ain't gonna pay the bills. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
Buy stuff. Yes. But yeah, Marcus, we appreciate you coming on, buddy. We hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, same to you.
All right, man.
Take care.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
See you. I was about to say, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Good dude, man. Great dude.
I always like you said. I think the people over there are like I mean, everybody we've talked to over has been kind of humble. So
yeah. Well, and when you brought that up, I got to thinking about it. I was like, yeah, even the dudes from Hidden Intent, all the way down there in Australia. I mean, they were super they were so stoked to get the invite. You know what I mean? It was just, I mean,
like 4 albums in too. So I mean,
I mean that's not to say that the guys we talked to in the United States weren't everyone we've talked to has been cool to talk to and cool to hang out with and everything else. Like I say, we finally we got to meet Halo Scars, a couple weeks ago. Finally got to meet them. We got to hang out with, what's that?
I said, you did. I've already met him
Oh,
before.
that's right. Yeah, that was your second time. I finally got to meet him. But I mean, we've hung out with them. We got to meet the guys from Eyes of the Living, and everyone we've interviewed has been real cool. But at the same time, I mean, there's been some people that we've reached out to, and if you can't come on, that's fine. That's totally fine. We get it. It's kind of rude to ghost somebody, but
Right.
but when you brought it up, I got to thinking, I was like, everyone from Europe and all of the international bands have all been communicative, whether it's been something they can do or can't do, or we'll get back to you once this happens and that happens. Nobody from none of the international bands have ghosted us, as far as I can remember.
No, I think most of the ones, like I said, even the one that I talked to recently was talking about the language barrier thing. I still may try to work that out at some point. Got
Yeah,
to get in touch with a PR person, but
yeah,
it's like I said, we know how that works usually with a PR person involved. So,
oh
I'm
yeah,
not, I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath for sure, but we'll see what happens.
yeah.
That album was very good too, so I really would like to talk to them about that album. So,
Yeah.
yeah, before we go here, just want to I didn't really want to talk about because I know we were having the guest on, but for those of you that don't know, Bray Wyatt passed away, being a big wrestling guy, of course.
And a metalhead too. So
Yeah,
it's relevant. It's relevant on two fronts. As far for us, it's relevant on two fronts.
yeah. So it's that, and then Terry Funk also passed away, which was one of the hardcore guys. Actually, I followed Terry Funk for a long time growing up. Him and Flair had some of the best matches I've ever seen, probably growing up. So,
Well, and him and Sabu would beat the shit out of each other when they were both in ECW.
yeah, and of course him and Mick Foley had some bouts. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's two guys, and of course the sad part is even though Funk passed away, he was in his 70s, so it was kind of
He almost made it to 80.
almost, yeah, 79. So
Yeah,
he made it a long way. Same with Bray Wyatt he was 36. So
36 years old, man.
that's horrible, dude. Like
Yeah.
and I want to say this, man. It's kind of like disheartening to see people just go out there and start making accusations before they know the fucking story. And I think that pisses me off worse than anything. It's like, oh well, he had this going on. You don't know nothing about that dude's
No,
life
you
unless
don't.
you're fucking living with him or next door or best friends with him. You don't fucking know. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Mm-mm.
it pisses me off that people want to like take somebody's tragedy and try to do something off of it. It just kills me. And I mean, it's like his action figures jump from $18 to 70 overnight because of that, because of he passing away. And that's bullshit, man. Like, you shouldn't be trying to make $1 off of somebody's death like that. And I
Mhm.
understand there's always that thing of, so you're worth more dead than you are alive. So I've always heard that growing up. Uh, so
Yeah.
they don't make it right just because it's true. I mean,
Also, that is, yep, that's true.
that's just like where I work at, they're like, oh, we can do this and we can do that. I was like, just because we can doesn't mean we should. So, you know,
Yep.
and then they wind up in a situation where they're fucked, and I'm like, imagine that. But
And that kids is called karma.
that's right, yeah. So it's like, but yeah, so it's really disheartening to hear people try to do things like that. But anyway, we just wanted to say that our thoughts and prayers go out to that families of Bray and Terry. So I
Yep.
know
And you brought this up earlier in the show to Bernie
yeah,
Marsden's family. He passed away at 72.
guitars for Whitesnake. Yep.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so let me see if I can throw this on. Well, put this on here real quick before we go, I guess.
The rarity of reason. It really was an amazing album.
It was,
Oh,
yeah.
it was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, if you guys go and check it out, even if you don't listen to the entire album, I mean, if nothing else, just go ahead and go listen to the title track, because you'll know exactly what we're talking about as far as that little intro, and then the lead in to the first verse with that guitar riff when it kicks in. Man, it's so good.
And
So yeah, we won't. Obviously, we didn't have our normal format this week, so we do have a theme of the week, but I didn't finish my playlist, so that'll carry over till next week. So you guys tune in next week, you'll find out what the theme is. You want to check out any?
I posted up here the playlist for the week right there. So
Yeah, okay, yeah.
definitely check that out, because there's a lot of good music out this week. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, catch any of our playlists, obviously, on Spotify. And then for those of you who do catch the Metalhead Minute on, during the middle of the week, I do have some content. I do have a few birthdays. I've got a couple of the current event stories, obviously, with some of the deaths that we talked about. So there will be a Metalhead Minute this week, even though we didn't have our regularly scheduled program this week. So, but
I plan on posting up the birthdays from this week tomorrow.
So the full list of birthdays will be on the Facebook page. So the people who are in there will be able to see that. So, and speaking of which, we did have a few new members join this week. So I think we're up to 520 now. So
actually, 2 of them were bands, which was awesome. So
that is cool. Yeah.
So, good that we're actually able to provide that platform for them to put their stuff out there. So it's cool. Then there's the playlist for last week's theme of hands. So if anyone wants to check that out. And of course, scrolling at the bottom, you can see the merch store at www.metalheadsuniteusa.com. There's a few items over there you can purchase, which we'll be switching up for too long, because the winter time is coming.
Not fast enough for me.
Oh, you ain't right. Shit. I'm sticking to the chair over here. So.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can always go to our stream. Stream.truly247.
Stream. Yeah, it's stream.trulyradio247.com/8006. That'll take you directly to our radio station. And it's playing right now.
Yeah, 24/7.
24/7. It's not just a clever name.
No, it's not. But yeah, so we kind of have been in touch with those guys, because a lot of those people are out in California and stuff, so they're having some issues out there with the storms and whatnot. So it's been kind of quiet on that front because of all that. So
that's understandable.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Anyway, this will be uploaded tomorrow or Sunday. I'll pick it up this weekend, put it on Spotify. So if you guys want to go over and check us out on Spotify, you can catch other interviews there as well. So there's a lot of interviews over there. Actually, there's at least 13.
Nice.
Not counting what's on there from last year. So I don't remember when we started taking this over, but I know that our stuff was supposed to be posted, but wasn't. So
yeah.
So
well,
over our own ship here. So
yeah, it was supposed to be seen by 64 million people in 98 countries, but we know how that turned out.
with 2 likes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, anyway.
I'm not living. I'm not living in somebody else's dream. So I'm in the real world here. So.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed Marcus there from After Earth. That interview was pretty cool. So,
yeah.
Again, I want to thank him for joining us so early in the morning over there. It was like 5 a.m. when he jumped on here. So it was very, very grateful that he was able to do so. So
Not gonna lie, if it would have been me, I would have gotten up for the interview like he did. But it's like,
We went back.
yeah, I'll see you guys later. Sign off and bam, sleep. Like I'm going back to bed for a few hours.
Yeah, it was like cool. He was like, that's our early morning, but it's doable. Let's do it. I'm like, oh, okay.
You know what? But you know what that is, though. I tell you exactly what that is. That's him still being in his 20s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's yeah. Shit,
Yeah.
I try to get up on time, and I'm just like, I have to. Like,
I know. Ugh.
uh,
Of course, I'm usually awake for the fucking alarm goes off anyway, so it just.
oh yeah,
Ugh.
no, that sucks.
Which is even more maddening when your alarm's supposed to go off at 5:30 and you look at your phone and it's like 5:12 and you're like, fuck.
or like 5:01 or something, because you're not going to be able to go back to sleep for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. So usually you're like, I should just get up and go eat breakfast.
Yeah. Go run an hour, get me awake or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we appreciate you stopping in. Back next week for our, supposedly our regularly scheduled program, and we'll see. So that one that interview kind of came out of nowhere first of the week. So it was
which is nice.
Yeah, because we can always like change up our deals. Like it's just a format show. So interview. We can do the other stuff, post it or post our playlist and album reviews.
We can always write up the album reviews and put those in the Facebook group. So yeah, I mean we've got some flexibility thing, because like you said, now that we're just kind of doing this on our own, we have that flexibility. That way, if everything just kind of goes as normal, hey, it's 10 to 12 or 10 to 12:30 or whatever it normally is. Someone needs to do it on Saturday morning because they're like 6, 7, 8 time zones ahead of us. We have that flexibility too. So it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, we don't have to ask for permissions.
No, we don't. No, we do not. Which is nice because we're fucking grown. So I mean, we can do whatever the hell we want to.
That's right. Call me Nighthawk.
Right. That's right. Yeah, now that we're out on our own, it gives us so much more room for activities.
All right, guys, we will let you go for today, and then we will see you back next week. Until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.